Good Sunday morning. Welcome to another edition of the Sunday Rise Week 2 NFL Pregame. It's the big guy KG, rocking and rolling, shucking and jiving. Sunday morning. With us is the one and only Midnight Rider, the lovely, the talented, the beautiful Swamp Queen Lady C. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Now we're gonna jump right into this. We had some some things to talk about. We was like, you know what, we're gonna skip that. We're gonna jump right into the game. First up,
it's better for our welfare if we skip that.
Patriots Steelers. You got the Steelers. I believe the Steelers are hosting this. And the Patriots are 2.5-point favorites. God, dog, you try to have everything ready, and then you still forget something. The Patriots are 0-1. Steelers are 1-0 after week 1. Belichick versus Tomlin, and we're gonna start with the Midnight Rider. What you got on this one?
All right, so this one's easy. 2 of the best coaches in the league, probably 1 and 2 if you had to rank them. Questions I saw this week is Najee Harris' foot is a serious injury. I know he's expected to play, but is he going to be able to play all 4 quarters? And then what's the Steelers' pass rush going to look like without T.J. Watt? Those are 2 big questions I had coming in today. I think they'll get answered some way, shape, or form. I think I put money on the Steelers because I just don't see why New England's favorite. So I don't know what the over-under is, but I'm taking the under because I think both teams will play hard and it won't get out of hand. So it's going to be a real simple game. But yeah, I think I like the Steelers in this one. What you got, Sean?
Yeah, I think there is the over-under. Oh my God, are we doing that again? I know we can still see me. We're good. Okay. Because I swear StreamYard hates me. But I'm going to say that the over-under is at 40.5, and New England is a 2-point favorite in this. I'm definitely going to have to go for the Steelers because, you know, Belichick, yeah, he's a good coach. He's one of the greatest. He's a GOAT of coaches. However, Tomlin is making that path himself, like he's really blazing that. I've only seen a few bad choices with Tomlin in his coaching career. So I'm really putting it all on the coaches, not necessarily the players, because they're just there to execute. The coaches is the mastermind. So I'm really taking the Steelers in this. You know, neither team is my favorite, but with the Pats not having Brady anymore, you know, he's still kind of a little rocky, a little bit. Their QB still has a little growth to do, a little grooming. Belichick is, has to groom him a little bit more, but Tomlin is, pretty much set in stone. So I'm taking the Steelers over this one. KG, what you got?
Well, I'm gonna ask a question. How healthy is Mac Jones? His back was hurt last week. He's the key to a Pats victory. It's Mac Jones. Now, Pittsburgh was supposed to have all these quarterback issues, and you got Trubisky, you got Kenny Pickett, who's going to start and who's going to be able to lead. The Patriots don't have that. The Patriots were supposed to be solid and ready to roll. It wasn't. They didn't look like they was ready to roll last week, and it didn't look like the team from last year either. So I gotta look at this, and I want to go with the Pats, but I think I may go with the Steelers on this one. You know what? I changed my mind. I'm going with the Patriots. I'm gonna take the Patriots in this one. They will cover the 2.5. They'll win by 3. It'll be a close one. Won't be a defensive battle. I'm gonna say 38-35.
Wow. Okay.
So
it's funny you say that because Pittsburgh always can find a pass rusher. So I think the kid's name is Highsmith that they drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round 2 years ago. I think he's going to be their impact guy. And then you said something earlier about Mac. I forgot about the back, so that's going to be interesting. And the Patriots don't really play well in September. That's another misnomer. Like they always end with a great record, but it's because they make it up in November and December. They don't necessarily start strong.
I mean,
Sorry about that.
they're the opposite of the Cowboys.
Right.
So, and I'm not saying that as a dig. It's fact. It's a fact. I'm not saying that as a dig. So, next up, our Washington Commanders. We are Commanders.
Take command.
I hate that. When they came up with that, I was like, oh my God, that is cringeworthy. Anyway, they visit Detroit today. Lions are 1.5 point favorites in Detroit. The Lions, boy, the Lions. The Lions lost a heartbreaker to the Eagles last week. Looking at this game, Washington looked pretty good. Defense came on late in the game. But I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all handle this, and I'm gonna leave it alone. I'll get it last. That way I can get my thoughts together. So, Midnight Rider, take that away.
So, I think this is the first thing that I thought about today's game is the Carson roller coaster. So during the week, I went back and looked at the Indianapolis and his numbers each week, and it was funny because he would have a big game, and then he'd have 2 games where he's like about 220, 230 yards, and then he'll come back with a big game. So I'm hoping we're not in that range where we're getting that 230 Carson. I hope we get the 304 touchdown kind of performance again. Other thing that concerns me is TJ Hawkinson versus the linebacking core for this team. We can't cover anybody from the tight end position. So him having the ability to get loose is something that scares me. And then DeAndre Swift, the running back, is another person that I think we should keep our eyes on today. If he goes off, this could be a long day in Commander Nation, or I guess at the command center, or at headquarters, or whatever you want to call it. What you think, Swan Queen?
See, I really haven't been following the Lions that much, so
who does?
I really can't. Right?
You watch Hard Knocks?
I mean, but you know,
no.
No,
it's the first year I didn't watch Hard Knocks because it was the Lions.
Sorry.
True. Like, they're okay. Like I can, I can sleep without them. I can totally take my nap without them. But they've been kind of making their little moves, getting up there, picking up just a little momentum. So they are definitely somebody to watch, maybe, if you full of insomnia. But I'm just going to go with the Commanders because you have, you got McKissick, you got, Gibson, like the defense, Commanders defense. They seem to have a breakdown, like midways, like third quarter. They start kind of breaking down a little bit, but they seem to kind of pull it together in the end. Sometimes it's just a little too late in past seasons. Break down that third quarter and then they pull it back together, but it's just a little too late and they up away with the L. But I think if the defense holds it together throughout, have a very strong second half, I think that'll be good. So Commanders for the W. I don't even know what the over-under is, but I was looking it up. I couldn't find any time. But I'm pulling for Commanders with this. It's not going to be a blowout. I take Commanders in 7. By a good touchdown.
The line is a trap. The line has, I think it's 2.5, if I remember correctly. And all Detroit likes to do is lose by 3. So think about that when you placing your bet.
Well, I'm gonna throw this, and I'm gonna say,
This part of the segment is brought to you by Afro Sheen. Go ahead, Katie.
Oh man, hey, ain't nothing wrong with a little TCB.
Use Afro Sheen.
You just showed both of y'all just showed y'all age. I just want to let y'all know that.
Hey, it's all good.
But I'm not used to losing to the Lions as a Washington fan. I'm not used to losing to the Lions. I remember, let's go back to 91, and that was the best Lions team ever. We beat them 45-0 opening week, kept Barry Sanders under wraps. In the playoffs, what did we beat them? 41-10?
Mm-hmm.
And, it got to the point where it was so loud that the referees wanted the crowd to calm down type thing. Over the years, I remember beating the Lions consistently. And even when they had Barry Sanders, I think that was the only time Barry Sanders didn't rush 400 yards against terrible Washington defenses. I never knew why we were his kryptonite. Now, you talk about Swift. Swift is going to be limited today with an ankle injury. I don't expect him to really play a lot. It may be a ploy and say, hey, you ain't ready for it. Boom, here you go. And Hawkinson, you know how to shut down Hawkinson? You have your strong safety. I'm not letting my linebackers cover Hawkinson. That's where my strong safety comes in. I'm letting my strong safety cover him. But the first pass they throw to him, I don't give a damn if it's over his head, it's out of the way. We'll pay for the penalty. We'll pay for the fine. Knock him on his ass. I'm talking about blaze in and whack. That's it. Old school John Madden. Have his tongue slapping his brain. That's it. I guarantee you he's not going out for another pass. He go out for another pass and he really put his hands up and leave himself open again. Hit him again.
All right, Greg Double G Williams.
That's it. Hey, if you kill the head, the body will die.
Just remember, Detroit has won, I think it's 4 of the last 5 or 5 of the last 6 in this series. Our last win was the win that Haskins had at FedEx. That was the last win we had. And
we had to that was 2 years ago? We had to pull that out. And I was at that game. Dwayne's first NFL win. I was there. I was in the building. It was cold. And the crowd was electric, man. And so many stories came out of that game. And I was like, y'all missing the narrative. He pulled that game out himself. Y'all missing the narrative. But I'm not gonna get into that. So but I'm taking Washington. I think defense will show up, show out. Give me Washington. Running away with this one big, not even close. God, I'm gonna say it 35-14.
Okay.
So I'm feeling confident, and it's not often that I feel confident about Washington, but this is where I think we got ourselves a quarterback. Let's just say that. So next up on the list, Seahawks, Niners. Niners are favored by 9 in this game. What's crazy, the Niners have 2 legit quarterbacks, and they can switch off to anybody. And later on when we get to the other game, I'll talk about what I thought was going to happen. But the Niners have 2 legit quarterbacks. They got a defense that's out of this world. When we talked about it, what was that? Earlier in the week, we talked about Bosa. And the Bosa family is just absolutely just got daggone beasts. But the Niners lost last week. So Seahawks come in, surprise the Broncos on Monday, 1-0. Niners coming in 0-1, but now they're 9-point favorites against the Seahawks. Will we get more Geno Magic? Midnight Rider?
I wouldn't say Geno Magic. I think the defense played much better. They were much more explosive than I thought they were going to be. Quadre Diggs is probably one of the better safeties in the league. And I think they didn't miss, what's his name? Abrams? They didn't miss him. Adams. That's who it was. Jamal Adams. I'm sorry. They didn't miss him at all. And just like I can't remember his name because every year he's carted off since he left New York. The thing about this game that kind of keeps me, I'm just a little wondering about is Trey Lance. Who is he? Because, of course, last week in the monsoon, you can't really figure anything out about a quarterback in those conditions. And then Geno, he said that they told him he was done, but he didn't read the letter or he didn't read it. So He didn't know that. So I wonder what we get from Geno today. Who is Geno Smith? It's kind of odd to be asking a 9 or 8, 10-year vet who they are, but if you play strong defense, you can always hide the deficiencies of your quarterback. So I think that's where we get in this. I think the number was 9.5 in terms of San Fran, right? San Fran minus 9.5. So I took the Seahawks with the +9 all day, every day. You couldn't beat me to the register on that one.
You a bold dude.
Hey man, that looked like a Vegas special to me. Because I don't think they're gonna score a lot of points. Just because the two offenses, if with the quarterbacks being so inconsistent, I just don't see the two offenses doing enough to generate a lot of points today. So that's why I don't like the 9 number. So that's why I took the +9.
You done muted yourself.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lady C. I'm sorry.
So, last week that was a heartbreaker. That was definitely a heartbreaker. Like, pretty sure everyone was pulling for Russ, only to just be defeated like that. Like, we were pulling for you. We were all pulling for you. Like, had my neighbors coming to check on me, making sure I was okay because I was over here yelling. And I'm not even a Broncos fan. Like, not even a Broncos fan. I'm a Russell Wilson fan. But this week, I don't know what happened last week with Broncos defense. Like Kev said, they couldn't even stop a damn nosebleed. Like, so I don't know what the 49ers defense is going to do to, with the Seahawks, because I don't know if maybe the Seahawks defense was that damn good, or was it Broncos defense that was that damn bad? That make, because the worst team could make the, so it's hard to tell. But I don't think this is going to be a high scoring game. I put them, it's going to be a good fight. Because the 49ers does have a nice lineup with their defense and offense. Hopefully, what's his name can actually stay on the field this time. I think he gets carted off like a lot. Like I forget his name.
Jamal Adams.
Yeah, like he's had more cart rides than the cart driver. Shit. Like he just need to come on in and just bring that bitch in himself. So he could just ride it on out third quarter. All right, y'all, I'm out. But I'm gonna take the Seahawks in this one. I'm gonna take the Seahawks. I'm gonna take that 9.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and we joined by the man that writes all the checks, the boss, BJ. I'm gonna say this, and I know we're not talking about the Broncos, but I was pulling for the Broncos last week too. And I said something to my wife, and she said, "What did that have to do with anything?" I said, "It changed a lot. Once Sierra started twerking at gas stations on top of Jeeps, seemed like Russell Wilson ain't played the same no more."
The fuck? That still has nothing to do with the damn price of tea in China. Damn it.
It has a lot to do with it. Because it's like the whole narrative, on the field, Russell Wilson, I'm a Russell Wilson fan. I love Russell Wilson. Off the field, I love Russell Wilson. I love his humble opinion. I love how he is. But now your wife done gone and went back to this ratchet stuff. And if she gonna act like that, go deal with Future. Don't deal with a wholesome Christian boy like this and act like this. A good Christian boy here, he don't do those type of things.
Well, hell, she got to do something. She got to do something because clearly he out there fucking up the goddamn contract.
Man, he got the contract.
He got to do something to keep the money coming.
But no, they knew everything he was doing. They knew everything he was doing last week.
2 fumbles inside your own 5-yard line is what did the Broncos in last week. Had nothing else to do with anything else. You had two turnovers on 3rd and 4th down in goal line situations. So you taking off 14 points right there. So you're not even in that situation.
Twice.
Say that again.
You ran the same drive twice, same lineup, same fucking plays, and you fucked it up twice.
Right.
Same exact.
But that's where the 14 points comes into play, because you're not taking that last minute drive if you get those 14 points. So I think that's where they messed up the church's money, is they just couldn't convert.
Here's my thing, and this is the only reason why I say that, because I mean,
then she got to twerk a little bit because
maybe that's why, because she distracted the man by twerking. No, go back to being the wholesome young lady that she was before. You're not dealing with Future no more. You're dealing with Russell.
Oh boy,
what's wrong with Sierra twerking though?
At a gas station, really? People, black folk get money. Don't know how that. It does matter where. If you're gonna twerk for your husband behind closed doors, like you got women out here talking about, "Ooh, I want to know what Prince Sierra said to get Russell Wilson and stuff like that," and then you out here twerking. No, I can twerk and get me. No, you cannot. You ain't gonna get you no wholesome man like that. No Christian boy like him. Anyway, we talking Niners Seahawks, and Seahawks knew everything that Russell Wilson was going to do last week. They're not going to know what Trey Lance going to do this week. And that was a true football game in Chicago. I think we're going to have better weather this week. So let me say this. San Francisco by 10.
okay.
So, I'm San Fran by 10. Next up, and we're kind of going out of order. You know what? Bears Packers is the 8:00 game. Let's go Bucks Saints.
Okay.
No, was it Bucks Saints that you want to do first, or was it Bengals Cowboys? Which one you want to do first?
Let's go Bucks Saints. Because that's right in the heart of the Swamp Queen's land. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's get a little home field advantage.
All right, Bucks are 2.5 points. Yep, Bucks are 2.5 point favorites. What you got, Lady C?
I got a lot of hurt and pain, a lot of mixed emotions with my boys. Like we ain't doing too good. Ooh, child, I don't know if the voodoo ain't working. I mean, the recipes. I don't know if it been, some of the seasonings that we didn't use then got old. The dolls are the falling apart. I'm not sure what the hell is going on. So we have a new coach. So we basically have a baby team. We had, so I don't know what to say about my babies. Like I'm diehard. I'm still gonna rep till like there's no more team. Like I'm not even gonna put the bag over my head, showing my face. Who that till I die. Who that anyway. But Saints and Buccaneers. That's one of our divisional games. Just like Tampa Bay was. Let's see. Because I was reading a little earlier about it. So we have Kamara, like he's supposed to miss. Like we don't know. I think he's going to miss the game today because of his injury. And then you got Jameis Winston. I don't know what the hell that baby was doing last week. I don't know what he forgot. The plays. He forgot where he was at. He got to looking at the grass too much. I don't know. He was looking at the birds in the sky because he was out there fucking up left and right. But Tampa Bay is favored to 2.5. The over under is set at 44. I honestly, I'm gonna have to pull for Tampa Bay with this one because this is where I see it going. Like you have Brady and Winston. Uh, yeah, he hopefully Giselle then done something to Brady to kind of fuck his head up for the game today. Maybe not. She done said something. I don't know, but
Maybe she twerked at a gas station. We don't know.
twerk with what?
She probably twerked at the gas station. That's why he playing the way he playing.
Twerk with
I'm,
what?
okay, she was backing. She was using her back. Just pop it, pop it, pop it.
Right. She shaking her dress. Because pretty much all that baby got. Shaking the roaches out of dress. I don't know. That I guess that's the new dance. Um,
Okay, Tracy Turnblad.
but but I'm gonna have to say, even though these are my boys, I'm diehard, but I feel that they're gonna take the L this weekend. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Bucks. That 2.5. I'm taking everything for Tampa this weekend.
All right. Well, I guess I'm up because the Midnight Rider wants to close. Let me throw it to BJ first. B, you're here. We talking Buck Saints. What you got, bro? I mean, Tom Brady, he ain't living with his wife no more, and she upset he done came back, and the Saints got a good defense, but they look a little lost. What you got?
Yeah, and then Chris Godwin hurt himself for the Buccaneers, so I mean I'm gonna still take Brady in at 2.5, because it's Tom Brady, and then he still has Mike Evans, he still has I don't know, I think Leonard Fournette was questionable too. I think he might be questionable, but like I said, we talked about Julio Jones. You're gonna get Super Julio this year. He's not gonna get hurt. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna play like that Atlanta Julio Jones, beforehand. So I still take 12. Even though Jameis came on in the second half, we know Jameis can play, man. He's proved it. He can throw the football around. Just gotta. I mean, I think it could go either way. I'll go with the Bucks, but we know 2.5 ain't nothing but a currency. So, but give me the Bucks in the 2.5. I'll lean with 12 and Brady.
All right. And of course, you know me, I'm going with the Bucks. No offense, Lady C. No offense. I'm gonna go with the Bucks because it's Tom Brady. And
So you don't know how to
sometimes
keep your job?
I'm grandfathered in.
Really?
Check my contract. I go all the way back to
Mm,
Zcash.
really?
I play
So
golf
that's
with the
something we have
boss. How about that? I
let me
play
see
golf
that.
with the boss.
Maybe you missed that fine print.
I'm gonna go ahead and take the Bucks because I play golf with the boss. And maybe, sometimes as a man, when you going through things at home, you do better at work and you immerse yourself in your work and you become hyper focused and you do things. Maybe that's going to happen for Tom Brady. Well, I know it happens for myself, and I'm sure the boss BJ and Ben, you can both agree to that. When got things going on at home at work, at home, when you go to work, it's like you're hyper focused. You're trying to get it done, and you're not trying to think about it. It's like you're trying to take your mind off for a couple of hours so you can just like get some clarity. Maybe that'll happen for Tom Brady. Maybe Giselle will be like, you know what? Tom needs me. I'm not going to do this to him. We can talk about this after the season over. Maybe she just need to cup his face and say, look, after this season, this is it. Come home, please. But if the fire has not died, you can't just extinguish it like that. Same thing I told my wife. I said, you can't extinguish that fire like that. And Tom Brady still has the fire at what, 40 years old?
43, 44?
I think, you know what I really think he's trying to do? I think he's trying to break George Blander's record. And I always say we'll never see that in our lifetime. Anybody break George Blander's record. Now, he could really do it if he says, all right, I'm going to become a kicker after this year. He's a kicker for the next 4 years. He can do it. But give me the Bucks. I don't think it's going to be as decisive as last week. Give me the Bucks 23-20. They'll cover the 2.5. Midnight Rider.
So this actually worked out even better than I thought because I knew this was going to go this way. So now the Midnight Rider is actually becoming the lone wolf I see on a lot of these things because I'm taking the Saints. And the reason I'm taking the Saints is because history has told me that the Saints have beaten the Bucks. I think they're 4-0 against the Bucks since Brady's been there. And numbers don't lie. That's just my thing. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, and neither does the eye in the sky. And I think the defensive line for the Saints is going to give the Buccaneers problems, and then that's going to cause the issue. And I think Jameis Winston has found something because he's probably got one of his, not his first, but he's got a steady receiver in Michael Thomas. I think the only issue is their running game, and maybe Kamara's in and out of the lineup, but still, I think they have enough. Because they've shown to be a thorn in the side of Tom Brady. But I think the Saints pull this out. So I got the Saints and the number. Again, another one I ran to the book. I was like, pay me, because I'm ready. Let's go. That's pretty much all I got on this, man. It's just, I don't see a way that the Bucks actually win this, to be honest with you. Just with the way the Saints play them.
Okay.
I mean, it was one season that I think that we beat them just by damn field goals. I want to say it was last season.
Yeah.
And we took them out just by field goals.
Mess my money up.
But yeah, I'm because I see Brady, like I see a different focus in him. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go against my boys on this one.
Okie dokie.
I hate it. But
sometimes you gotta do it.
Yeah.
You gotta do it.
On the line.
Next game that I alluded to earlier, Bengals versus Cowboys. Bengals are 7.5-point favorites in this one. Cowboys are down to Cooper Rush. I missed that memo.
Don't worry about it.
My bad. I checked it late. I missed that memo. Bengals are a favorite 7.5. Joe Burrow versus Cooper Rush. And the reason why I said I bring this up later was the Niners have Jimmy Garoppolo. The Niners, they want to offload him. They're paying him. I said, well, Dallas take some of that money and say, hey, let's get Jimmy G. Because they're not going to get Cam. They're not going to get AB. We had this discussion in our chat. They're not going to do any of that. We're the Cowboys going to be smart enough and say, hey, we need to find somebody to sit in for Dak for these couple of weeks so we can at least win a few games till Dak gets back and probably make a strong push to the playoffs, but they did none of that. So let's go around the room. Midnight Rider, Lady C, BJ, and then it'll come back to me. Let's go.
All right, so this one, I just like the matchups in this game. First and foremost, you got Micah Parsons going against the revamped offensive line for the Bengals. And I don't know if you saw my Facebook last week, but that revamped line didn't look all that revamped. It looked like it did when the Titans were racking up 9 sacks in the ball game. So that part right there scares me in this matchup. But the other thing that I'm worried about is this receiving core going against Diggs. You got Chase. I don't know who he guards because they have 3 studs. I know Higgins has been questionable because he had a concussion last week. So I haven't gotten the last update on that. But even with that being said, because the Cowboys are starting Cooper Rush, I'm taking the Bengals and whatever it is. I don't care. I like what Cincinnati does. I like mixing. They throw in P-Ron every now and then, just as an offset. And then their defense, it does enough. Their defense does just enough to get them to the finish line. So I think this is another situation where they don't mess it up and the offense takes them home. I got the Bengals winning this. And hopefully their long snapper doesn't get hurt again. because that's the only reason they didn't beat Pittsburgh is because they were one long snapper away from closing the ball game out. So those are my thoughts. So, Lady C, what you got, babe?
Let's see. What was the well, I'm gonna take the Bengals, and this is why. So you got Joe Burrow, Baby Burrow, uh, you know, Super Bowl winner. Okay, so his confidence got a little boost. Now, I want to say it was last week that his little confidence, because he's gotten cocky, but he kind of deserves it. But he wasn't. He was off his game a little bit last week because of his cockiness. But you have Burrow versus Rush, so like I'm definitely gonna have to take the Bengals in this because Rush, he came on that field last week and was like, "What do I do? What is this? Is this what happened, boss? Where I go?" And they just ate his last up. So definitely gonna have to take the uh, the the Bengals over Dallas because Prescott is out. But like with him being out, he it really wouldn't matter. I think that if Prescott was healthy and still in, I would still pull for Cincinnati in this because their Cincinnati's defense has really stepped up their game. Now the Cowboys defense, they're really good. Like they've always been good, but it's that breakdown. Like they don't mesh. Like it's something that just fucks up and breaks down. I don't know if it's because Dak is breaking down in the third quarter or what. Like that third quarter choke. Like Dak gonna choke. Like he likes to get choked more than a female does. You know, that's just my take on there.
Oh shit.
Uh, so hmm, maybe he likes a little BDSM session because that's what he shows in the third quarter. That's what shows up. But I'm just gonna have to take what's the over under with this? Because I don't see Cowboys winning at all. It's
I
not
don't even
going.
have the over under.
Like I haven't found it. Like I definitely have not found it, but I'm definitely going to take it. I think they're predicting Bengals 21, Cowboys 13. One of the sources, so I'm gonna take that. Uh,
Boss,
Brian.
So I'm looking on Bleacher Report. The Bengals are favored by 7.5. I'll take all of that. Like I said, I'm wondering if sorry, I got to do grandpa duties, but I was wondering if we saw Dak a couple seasons ago get hurt and lead the league in passes for the next 2-3 weeks while he was out. That last week's game, he looked like he might have been already hurt. And it just makes you scratch your head and wonder. I know people give the Cowboys shit. A lot of people give Dak Prescott shit. But for the most part, he's not a lower tier quarterback, and he plays a little bit better than the mid tier. So I just wonder if he was already hurt last week going into that game because he looked horrible. The Cowboys' offense looked horrible, and um, I'm taking the Bengals, taking the 7.5. Um, I don't know. It could be one of those situations where because you don't have tape coming into this game on that new Cowboys quarterback, they come up and light them up. But the Bengals are just coming fresh off a Super Bowl loss. They didn't make it there on accident. So they got a nice team. I know I don't know if everybody's active, but as long as Jamar Chase is out there, and they got a three-headed monster, as long as Jamar Chase is out there, I'm good with the Bengals. I want to see what the Cowboys can do. It's actually time for Zeke to make his money, man. He's been slow chugging for the last couple seasons. It's time for him to. They need him. They're gonna have to rely on him if they're gonna get through these next couple weeks. Possibly 4 to 6 weeks. Dak's out, and KG, what you were saying. I think if Dak was out for the whole season, they would reach out to a quarterback. But it's what the 49ers want for Garoppolo. It's not worth him playing 4 to 6 weeks, or even 8 weeks. It's not worth those draft picks. I'd rather just see what I got. See, if we fall down in the draft order, I'll take it. But just to get somebody and then to have maybe a quarterback controversy when Dak is ready to come back, I don't think it's worth it. So just whoever's going to start for Dallas, just let them rock and roll, but they're going to lose today. KG?
Here's my thing. Dallas and the fans are delusional because they making up every excuse in the book. Oh, man, we just going to go ahead and we just going to go 0-17 and get the number 1 pick and this, that, and other. I'm like, you giving up already. And your quarterback's only going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. Now it's 4 to 6. It's so many different. And we did a demonstration early in the week about what Dak can do to come back. You got that thumb. You got to get that pressure. He gonna have to go Terry Bradshaw, get that fingertip on the tip of the ball. He gonna have to do something to come back early. But then he also has to worry about, like we talked, calcium deposits. I don't have the Cowboys winning anything with Cooper Rush because it's like when they had Ben DiNucci. When Dak went down, you had Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton went down, then you had DiNucci. You have nothing. I think they have a better shot at doing something with Will Grier than Cooper Rush. But Cooper Rush knows. You're shaking your head. It's something about them West Virginia quarterbacks, ain't it?
Yeah, you do it every time, man.
I do.
It's like, I don't know. It's like me and athletic small forwards, but we talked about it early in the week.
Mm-hmm.
And you made an allusion to it. But I think there's a reason they like Rush. I don't know what it is, but maybe he got pictures. I don't know, but they like Rush for some reason. So I think, and even you mentioned it early in the week. You brought up, I think it was the Steve Berline game where Michael Irvin had like 163 yards, and they beat the Atlanta Falcons. So this might be a rebirth of that. History repeats itself, especially in football.
Yeah, it does.
So there's a possibility. I don't see it, but there's a possibility that can happen.
It does. I'm not picking the Cowboys in this one. You don't have one of your main guns, and I agree with the boss, BJ. Zeke got to earn his money. Mid-riff got to do something. He got to become that dog that he was 3 years ago. He got to do something. He can't just be out there with his nice futuristic helmet, which I like the style of helmet he has. I love it. If it was in a different color, I'd probably cop one, but I love the style of helmet he has. You can't just be out there looking futuristic, but you play like you only getting 2 yards a carry. I mean, that was the national average in the 60s, man. Nah.
Just say you want to put on your Dallas Cowboys socks and run around the house.
No, sir. No, sir.
Just say if you want. Just say that. Just say you got your Dallas Cowboys socks, your Dallas Cowboys. Come on.
Why would I do that?
And as soon as
you
get
see
off
what's
the
hanging behind me?
I mean, I think that's a front. Sometimes I think that's a front. And you're true to heart, silver and gray, or whatever the hell that silver and blue.
And you of all people know, when I pick the Cowboys, what do I pick the Cowboys for?
I know.
What do I pick?
It's like a reverse.
But it proves a point. It proves a point. When I pick the Cowboys, I let you know they're going to win this game. They're going to go to start of season, healthy Cowboys team. I'm going to tell you straight up, they're going to go 7-0. But come November 1st, they're going to start losing. And then I'm going to tell everybody, I told you, you haven't arrived yet. The Cowboys haven't been the Cowboys since January of 1996. Every year they went 13-3. You haven't arrived yet. We had an undefeated month. You haven't arrived yet. You're playing cupcakes. It's like playing Little Sisters of the Poor 7 times, and you're winning 7 times. But then you got to play somebody like Powell Memorial or DeMatha. You're not playing anybody.
And you know the other thing is too, you're not playing the same NFC East. You're playing, you got a Washington team that has a quarterback and has some potential, and then you're sitting there with the Eagles team that may be the cream of the division right now. I mean, they got some more proving to do, but it's not the same situation where you can afford to drop some games in this division. Is so bad now that it'll even itself out. That's the other thing too. So you falling behind now and quick, you'll be fighting for your football lives when Dak come back, if he does come back.
True indeed. Next to last game on the docket will be the Bears versus Packers. That's the 8:00 game. Packers are favored by 10 in this one. This is one of the biggest lines of the day. Packers are 0-1. Aaron Rodgers looked human last week. What's the boy's name? Justin Fields looked superhuman in the rain. Last week. Bears are 1-0. Midnight Rider, take it away.
So on WrestleManiacs, now leave your mic on. The WrestleManiacs, there's Don Rodriguez, and what's the big guy's name again?
That's the Nubian Sumo.
The Nubian Sumo has a shirt that says "Acknowledge your daddy," and that's what I need the Bears to do. I need the Bears to acknowledge their daddy, because this week last year he told him, he ran to the sidelines after he scored a touchdown, say, "I own y'all. I own this place." And that's what it is. So there's no way I'm picking against Aaron Rodgers. And I think when they get Quadzilla, AJ Dillon going, because they'll run behind him, I think they figured out last week that these receivers are a little shaky after Watson dropped that first touchdown pass that should have been a touchdown. So I think you're going to get a healthy dose of AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones, and then that's going to be their formula for winning these ball games. They're not going to trust these receivers. They're not going to let it happen. I like what I saw from Fields, but I just can't trust the team. When your number one receiver is Mooney, I just can't trust you. Like, I just feel like they didn't invest enough in this kid's future. Having his best tight end being Cole Kmet, who went to Notre Dame, but still, he's not an elite tight end. So I just don't feel like the Bears did enough on the offensive side to make this anything different than what it always is. So, yeah, Bears Nation or whatever you call Bear Country, acknowledge your daddy. What you got, Lady C?
So like, I know last week we did this and I picked the Packers over the Vikings because it was Aaron freaking Rodgers. I don't know what the frick happened last week. But I'm still rocking behind Aaron fucking Rodgers because he is fucking legend. Like, he's one of our guys. Like, and then look at the history of the Bears and the Packers. Like, last 6 games with them, the Bears have taken the L. So, and it's been because Aaron freaking Rodgers. Like, everybody, has a bad day. He was off his game. Clearly, he was off his freaking rocker. To only get one fucking touchdown. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, I was at work watching the game, putting guests on hold so I could see the game. Everything. So, but yeah, definitely taking everything. I want to say they got the Packers 10-point favorites, over under 41.5. So definitely taking all that for the Packers because it's Aaron freaking Rodgers. Brian, what you got?
I guess I'm going to the mental and the straight jacket because I'm taking the Bears. Until Aaron Rodgers show me that he's going to do with his damage without Devontae Adams, because I called that last week. I'm going with the Bears. I like the energy the Bears play. I know it was um, Water World at Lambeau Field last week, and they're going to Lambeau. I don't know what the weather conditions are at Lambeau right now, but I'm pretty sure it won't be Wild World. So slip and slide in the back type deal. But I'm going with the Bears. I'm going with the Bears to cover the 10. I'm going with the Bears to put a big fat apple in Aaron Rodgers' mouth and shut him up for the first time in a while. I'm going with the Bears, man. It's a couple teams I'm going with the opposite today, but the Bears is going to be one. I just like the Bears mojo. That's all I like. I like the way they played last week, the energy. They could have gave up and they didn't. And when you're looking at these teams that would normally get to a certain point of game and just break and just let all hell loose, and now all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers got 4 touchdowns and they up by three touchdowns. Then you see some fight in them. I like the Bears. I like the Bears. Give me the Bears. Give me the Bears.
The Bears. But nah, I can't roll with you. I got to go with the Packers.
Like, did he do this? Did I see him do the bear thing? The bear pose? Does it
I
kind of
hope
seem
not.
like this he did?
But I got to go with the Packers. I mean, yeah. Last week was a learning experience, and you learned last week that the receivers you have, they ain't gonna get it done. So you got to have a running game, and you got running backs that you can have a running game. And the thing is, you started off running, make them come up, stop the run, go over the top, play action. That's how you open it up. You got to go old school. So I'm going with the Packers on this one. Last but not least, and I'm sure the boss BJ ain't going no way but where he going with this one. His Buffalo Bills versus the Tennessee Titans on Monday night. The Bills look very, very good. Shout out to Josh Allen and his fantasy stats, because dude came through for me in one league. In another league, he beat the hell out of me. So I'm not mad at it. But the Bills are favored. This is the other 10-point game. Bills are favored 10-10 in this one. Let's start off with the boss, BJ, and let him talk about his Bills, and we'll go to the Midnight Rider, Lady C, and then I'll finish it off.
Oh, I'll take it off, baby. I will take it off. This is a game, and I know we're not talking about the same Tennessee team. They're minus AJ Brown, but this is a team the Bills have not been able to beat. This is one of those teams I was talking about when we did the Bills show before the season start, about beating teams that are that upper echelon crush. And maybe Tennessee isn't the same without AJ Brown, but this is a team that the Bills have to prove they can beat. I'm not taking that 9.5. I think the Bills will win. I would be surprised if it gets that out of hand, just because you still got Derrick Henry back there. Um, how fast and how quick and how well coached the Tennessee defense is. I say that every time we talk about them. It's a reason why Mike Vrabel's on the sideline, and when you see Mike Vrabel, you can see it rubbing off on that defense. They know where to go, they know where to be, and on top of being super quick, they are super stupid fast. Um, but here's the side where I always talk about Ryan Tannehill. God, you gotta love to use some Ryan Tannehill. I don't. I'm hoping that Von Miller can come off the edge on a clean hit and put the helmet right here, and knock him all the way to the sideline. My dislike for Ryan Tannehill is deep because he's not a good quarterback. He's been hitting with a great running back and AJ Brown the last couple seasons, and he's gonna start getting exposed a little bit. He's a mid-tier quarterback. He ain't no upper echelon quarterback. So give me the Bills. I think the Titans cover the 9.5. Like I said, it's always to me, you got to prove it to me. And even though they're my Bills, you got to prove to me you could beat this Tennessee team. So give me the Bills, but give me Tennessee covering at 9.5. Ben, what you got?
That's a good call on the. I think I see it exactly the same way you saw it. I like the Titans with the number because it's 9.5. But I think the Bills win the ball game if we're doing this outright. Only thing I have concerns with, and I don't know if BJ knows the answer to this. I know Gabriel Davis was questionable this week, so I don't know if he's actually playing or not. I didn't see him on the inactives list that just came out on Bleacher Report, so I'm guessing he's a go. But again, this doesn't go off until Monday night, so I don't like my fantasy football pet peeve is that if you're questionable, I don't play you on Monday night because I don't have a lot of other options. So I know he's not in my lineup, but that's one concern I have going into this weekend. I'm glad to see somebody else doesn't like Ryan Tannehill as much as I do, because the man played receiver at Texas A&M, but somehow we making him a starting quarterback. But that's the story for a different show. And as I always say, content. Let's just put a pin in it because it's content. But yeah, it's real simple. I think that's where we're going to go. I think it's Buffalo all day. I think you'll see Josh Allen get him another Derrick Henry like stiff arm day, and I think they're gonna just ride it in the town. The only thing that still bothers me about Buffalo is just their running game, just getting some consistency. I don't like Devin Singletary, but I mean he makes it work somehow. And then I like the fact that they have Crowder in the slot over Beasley. So all that said, again, going back to what I said in the beginning, I like Buffalo to win, but I like the Titans to keep it within the 9.5. And the key for the Titans is Jeremy Simmons, who probably, even though he missed his rookie year, he's one of the best D tackles in the league, not named Aaron Donald. So that's all I have. So, Lady C, it's up to you.
So yeah, it for me it kind of all comes down to Tannehill and Henry. Like, what are they doing? Can y'all stop Henry? Can Henry be stopped? Because once he gets into his groove, it's like trying to stop a train. So can he be stopped? Can what is Tannehill gonna do? They're calling for Bill Titans matchup has been a really good matchup. Titans have really put it to the Bills over the last few, like a nice little thorn in their side. Cool. But I am going with the sources predictions. The Bills over Titans, 30-17. Because I think Bills just gonna pull this on out. KG.
Well, I think the Bills are just a far superior team, and this is not that middle of the generation Bills. This is not J.P. Lossman and Trent Edwards and Rob Johnson. This is a Bills team that can go far. They've been Super Bowl favorites for 3 years, but it's always something that trips them up. But it's never themselves. It's always some fluke shit that happens that trips them up. And growing up, watching this team and watching what Marv Levy was able to do with guys you look back on now, and most people say, oh, he wasn't that good. Like, people look at Andre Reed and say Andre Reed wasn't that good. Andre Reed was a beast. I think if you put this Bills team versus the 90s Bills, this offense would be able to keep pace with the K-Gun. That's how good I think this offense is. And I like Singletary. Granted, he's no Thurman Thomas, but I like Singletary because he can fall forward and get 8 yards. Now, imagine if he stayed upright going through the hole. He might can get 12, but he can get 8. per carry. I seen him do it last season against Kansas City. Squirt through the hole, got 7 to 9. You know, I like him. I just need to see more of that from him. You know, I need to see more runs from him. But if Josh Allen is able to masterfully put on a show like he did last week, the Bills will take this game and it won't even be funny because somebody's going to call and be like, stop it. Stop it. They're already dead. It's going to be that bad. Give me the Bills 45-6. So, closing remarks.
It's a blowout. Wow.
Yeah. 45-6.
45-6. I don't like Tannehill. I don't like the Titans. I like Vrabel. I like Henry. I don't like anything else the Titans have.
You gotta respect them though, because the what they have rocking is working.
Yes.
And the Bills, that's what I'm saying. The Bills haven't been able to beat them. And like I said, I know they're AJ Brownless now, but you still got Derrick Henry back there. And you still got that defense on the other side. And just touch on Devin Singletary. I think that whole offense benefits from Josh Allen being able to run. And those play fakes and stuff, it's different when Lamar does them and Josh does them. Because Lamar, I think Josh is the better QB. And Lamar still might be the better runner, but Josh is the better QB. So he does a play fake. You have to honor that, and then he can kill you with damn near any throw on the field. And plus 10 when he's running to the right. He's running to the right. That's something special. And teams know that. So, but Devin Singletary, Moss, and Cook lost a fumble last week. You know, rookie jitters. Give him a pass. But that whole backfield is going to benefit from Josh being able to do what he does. So I don't not like Devin Singletary. I think he still get better. I did like Zach Moss because Zach Moss was your power, but it seems like he's falling out of favor. You know, but if Cook keep fumbling, he's gonna keep Moss is gonna keep playing. So, but yeah, that's all I got. Man. Go Bills!
I think the only thing for me this week that we didn't touch on is the Arizona Vegas game. I mean, I think Vegas is gonna. I actually have Vegas winning this ball game, and the reason I bring it up is because I think we're gonna have to start putting Cliff Kingsbury on alert and try to figure out who he is and what he is. I think he's a fraud. I thought he should have never gotten a coaching job, but I think it's going to play itself out, and I think he's one of the first coaches that end up having to go on LinkedIn and find him a new job come the off season. That's all I got.
Let me say this, and we've talked about Cliff Kingsbury and this Arizona job. We've talked about it for quite some time. You can say what you want about Steve Wilkes. Steve Wilkes was given bad groceries, and then they told him go make a 7-course gourmet meal. He did like what Chop. He could. Huh?
It was like Chop, where they give you like graham crackers, pig intestines, and say make a gourmet meal.
Now, depending on who your clientele is, it's not going to work. And what Wilkes still went? What he still went 8-8, didn't he? Or was it 3-13? No, he went 3-13. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
he went 3-13. Only season. You get the number 1 pick. They get Kyler Murray. They say bye Wilkes. We're going to bring in Cliff Kingsbury. My biggest problem with that is Cliff Kingsbury. And this is how I know him old. I remember him as a player. And I'm like, okay, you bringing this dude in after some college success, but you're not going to say, hey, let's see what Steve can do if we give him some ingredients from Wegmans and we put a little bit more in here. We gave this dude Josh Rosen. You didn't even give him Save-A-Lot meat. You gave him daggone a ground chuck that was 7 days old and sitting out from A&P, and A&P been closed for years. So, I mean, that's my whole thing. I never really was never have been a fan of Cliff Kingsbury, but he's gonna keep getting what he's getting. He's going to continue to be the guy until another guy comes along. And when that guy comes along, it's not going to be an Urban Meyer. It's going to be whoever the hottest college coach is after one season at one of these small schools, and they're going to bring him up, and you're going to have the same thing. But now, on the flip side, Steve Wilkes got a Super Bowl ring. Even though it's an assistant, I don't care. He still got a Super Bowl ring. And he was rumored to come here and be an assistant, and I wanted him here. But he's in Tampa Bay. I'm good with that. I'm not a fan of Cliff Kingsbury and his coaching philosophy, but it is what it is. Ain't my team. So
KG, what's something you want to take away from this weekend, or something you want to look at for this weekend?
Be quite honest, unfortunately, and I know I'm gonna get ripped for this, I just want to see how the Cowboys respond with no Dak.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing I want to see. I want to see how they respond. Do they change their offense? Do they change what they do to win games? Or are they just gonna be like, all right, we're here, we in uniform, we done toed the line, so it's whatever. You know, are they gonna be ho-hum, or are they gonna go out there and attack like animals? This weekend will show me if Mike McCarthy lasts past this season, because he's been on the hot seat 2 years in a row. If he does not win during this stretch, he may not get fired during the season, but the Black Monday, he will be one of the coaches gone. Write it down, take a picture, store it in your save notes, start on WhatsApp. I'm telling you this now. He does not win in this stretch. He's gone on Black Monday. So it is about that time. It is 12:19 on the East Coast, 11:19 down there where Lady C is at. So, you know, games will be started in about 40 minutes. Make sure you got your fantasy lineup set. Make sure you got your picks in. Later on this week, when we probably about Tuesday, we'll come in with the Tuesday night flight. We'll give first 2 weeks records for the Sideline Junkies. See where everybody fares, everybody stands. Make sure you check us out on every streaming platform. They're all listed on the page. It's too many to list right now, but make sure every streaming platform you can listen to anything on, we there. You can watch us on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook Live, everywhere. And don't forget to join Facebook group Sideline Junkies 24/7, because we got a lot of good discussions going on in there from time to time. So be sure to join that as well. So for the Midnight Rider, the Swamp Queen Lady C, the Boss BJ, I'm the big guy KG. We don't do no overtime. We are out of here.